The sun beats down relentlessly. Temperatures soar to unprecedented heights. Across North America, a monstrous heat dome is settled, baking the land under a relentless wave of oppressive heat. Is this a terrifying glimpse into a future ravaged by climate change? Or is it, as some believe, a sign of biblical proportions, heralding the end of times? We can see the air shimmering with heat, a visible reminder of the invisible force baking the land. From bustling cities to quiet rural towns, people struggle to cope with the seemingly never-ending extreme heat. Fans whirl ceaselessly, a poor substitute for the relief of a cool breeze. Young and old alike seek refuge in cooling centers, their bodies at risk for heat stroke and vulnerable to the unforgiving heat. How long will this heat wave last, and what will its ultimate cost be? These questions hang heavy in the air, as oppressive as the heat itself. Each year is getting hotter and hotter. Across the United States, the mercury tells a tale of unprecedented heat. In the summer of 2023, Phoenix, Arizona's temperatures soared past 110 degrees Fahrenheit for a record-breaking 19 consecutive days. Las Vegas, Nevada, known for its desert climate, has seen temperatures of 110 degrees or greater, and has crept toward 120 degrees, pushing the limits of human endurance. And in Death Valley, California, the aptly named location is living up to its reputation as one of the hottest places on Earth, with temperatures exceeding 115 to 120 degrees. These are not just numbers on a thermometer. They are stark reminders of the dangerous reality facing millions of Americans. Heat of this magnitude poses a serious threat to human health. Heat stroke, heat exhaustion, and dehydration are just some of the dangers posed by prolonged exposure to extreme temperatures. Hospitals are overwhelmed with patients suffering from heat-related illnesses. Their resources stretch thin by the sheer number of people in need of care. The unhoused, elderly, the very young, and those with pre-existing medical conditions are particularly vulnerable to the effects of extreme heat. Staying hydrated, seeking shade, and avoiding strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day are essential for surviving this current heat wave. The severity of the heat wave has prompted widespread action, as state after state declares states of emergency. Governors are urging residents to take precautions, opening cooling centers to provide refuge from the dangerous temperatures. Resources are being stretched thin as emergency services respond to a surge in heat-related illnesses. Heat warnings, watches, or advisories have been put in effect from Iowa to Maine, affecting Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, and other northeastern cities. Temperatures north of 90 degrees with high humidity are making it feel hotter in the northeast than in Arizona, Texas, and Florida. Several states have declared heat-related states of emergencies, mobilizing resources to combat the heat, prevent forest fires, and protect vulnerable populations. Cooling centers have been set up in libraries, community centers, and other public buildings, offering a haven from the oppressive heat. More than 100 record highs are possible, with temperatures soaring 10 to 25 degrees above average in the Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, and heat indexes in the triple digits. Asphalt pavement is expected to reach temperatures of 160 degrees. The heat wave is certainly testing the limits of infrastructure and emergency response systems. Why are parts of the country that typically do not see these temperatures getting so hot? The heat dome's reach extends far beyond the typically scorching deserts of the Southwest. In a bizarre twist of weather, some of the hottest temperatures in North America are being recorded in places unaccustomed to such extreme heat. The Northeast, usually known for its temperate climate, is experiencing a taste of the tropics, with temperatures rivaling those typically found in Florida and the Caribbean. Portland, Maine, a city known for its chilly Atlantic breezes, is bracing for temperatures in the high 90s, with heat indices making it feel well over 100 degrees. Boston, Massachusetts, broke a 101-year-old record as the heat index soared to an unfathomable and sweltering 108 degrees on Wednesday, amid the brutal mid-June heat wave. The high temp of 98 degrees at Boston Logan International Airport broke the previous high temp record of 96 degrees, recorded back on June 19, 1923. The Northeast's heat wave is a wake-up call, but is it a sign from God, or a sign that the time for action is now? While hurricanes and tornadoes often dominate the headlines with their destructive power, heat waves are a silent killer, claiming thousands of lives each year. According to the World Health Organization, between the years 2000 and 2019, approximately 489,000 people died from heat-related causes each year, with 45% of these in Asia and 36% in Europe. These numbers include deaths caused by heat waves, which can last for several days and can have a significant impact on society. As we've mentioned, the unhoused, the elderly, the very young, and those with underlying health conditions are particularly vulnerable to the effects of extreme heat. But even healthy individuals can succumb to heat stroke if they do not take proper precautions. The human body is designed to function within a narrow temperature range. When exposed to extreme heat, the body's cooling mechanisms can become overwhelmed, leading to a cascade of potentially fatal health problems. Heat stroke, the most serious heat-related illness, occurs when the body's temperature rises above 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat waves are becoming more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. But is it due to climate change? Or is it written in the stars? Or can both theories be true? As the heat dome tightens its grip on North America, some are turning to ancient texts and apocalyptic prophecies for answers. In the book of Revelation, the final book of the New Testament, there are vivid descriptions of a world ravaged by fire and heat, a time of tribulation and judgment. Revelations describes a time when the earth experiences intense heat as one of its 7 plagues. In Revelation 16:8, it's described that the 4th angel pours his bowl onto the sun, causing its temperature to rise so high that its rays scorch the people of the earth. The intense heat sears those who curse God's name but refuse to repent. Some believe these biblical temperatures will be much hotter than we've ever felt before, much higher than those we're currently experiencing under the heat dome, and much higher than those in Death Valley, California. Some interpret the current heat wave as a fulfillment of these prophecies, a sign that the end of times is near. Online forums and social media are abuzz with discussions about the heat dome and its potential significance. Conspiracy theorists and religious zealots alike point to the unprecedented nature of the heat wave as evidence of divine intervention. They see it as a wake-up call, a warning from a higher power that humanity has strayed too far from the righteous path. While some may debate the cause of the current heat dome, the scientific community is unequivocal. Climate change is real, and it is making heat waves more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. The burning of fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing global temperatures to rise. This warming effect has a profound impact on weather patterns, leading to more extreme events, including heat waves. The heat dome currently baking North America is a prime example of how climate change is altering our weather. Heat domes form when a high-pressure ridge becomes stationary over a region, trapping hot air underneath. If we fail to address climate change, the current heat dome will be just a taste of what the future holds. Climate models predict that as global temperatures continue to rise, heat waves will become more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. Scientists predict that triple-digit heat may be here to stay in less than a decade, and that by the end of the century, what we now consider an extreme heat wave could become the new normal. Cities will become unbearable furnaces with temperatures regularly exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Crops will wither and die in the fields, leading to food shortages and price spikes. Water resources will dwindle as droughts become more common and severe. And human health will suffer as heat-related illnesses and deaths skyrocket. The scorching reality of the heat dome crisis demands immediate and decisive action. This is not just a matter of uncomfortable temperatures, it is a matter of life and death. Thousands are already suffering from heat-related illnesses each year, and the death toll is only expected to rise with the increasing number of heat waves. We must act now to protect ourselves, our communities, and our planet. First and foremost, it would be wise of us to listen to the scientists and the data-driven science. The evidence is seemingly overwhelming. Data points to climate change being real and human-caused, making heat waves more frequent and severe. We cannot afford to ignore the warnings of experts who have dedicated their lives to understanding our planet. Additionally, we must demand action from our leaders. Governments around the world must take bold steps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, transition to clean energy sources, and invest in climate resilience measures. We cannot continue to kick this can down the road for future generations to figure out. Because if we don't act, there may not be a future generation. But to ensure our bases are covered, we should probably also send up a couple of prayers or three. Thanks for watching. And hey, what's the current temperature where you are? Is it hot? Are you being impacted by the heat dome? Let us know how you're staying cool down in the comments below.